Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Evolution of Loki. It is the third episode in this series, and it is Thor the Dark World. I'm your host, the God of Quizzes, joined as always by the God of Vix and the God of Bonnets. How are you guys doing today?
Like
Hi.
gods.
Yeah, feeling like the gods.
Well, I think we can all agree that this is probably the worst movie out of these six that we're reviewing. I feel like it's pretty safe to say.
It's bad. You know what I think though? I think, and like not even to be all cheesy with it, Loki actually saved the movie for me because it's a really slow movie. At the time before 3 came out, this was like for me, it was like, oh well, this ain't that bad, but it is the weakest of all the movies.
Yeah. Well, let's give a quick little rundown of this film. It was directed by Alan Taylor, released on November 8th, 2013. It was the second movie in Phase 3 of the MCU, following Iron Man 3, released earlier that year. It, of course, stars Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, Stellan Skarsgård, as well as more of this absolutely stacked cast that the Thor movies had. Fantastic cast. And as always, it was produced by Kevin Feige. This film grossed about $644 million worldwide at the box office, making it the 10th highest grossing film of that year. Thor the Dark World. Oh God, this movie. It was something.
There's that word again, God.
It was certainly a movie.
It was.
Let's talk about the good parts of this movie, which was Loki. I mean, Loki was really the best part about this film. Mm-hmm. The first little bit of this film, we see Loki in a jail cell before he eventually does get out when they try to make their escape out of Asgard. And what is my favorite scene in the film, where he's impersonating a bunch of different people, such as Lady Sif and the Chris Evans cameo as Captain America. Best part in the movie, without a doubt. And then Loki ends up going with them to the realm of the Dark Elves. I don't know the name of it. And there he fakes his death, pretends that he sacrificed his life for Thor. And so Thor's all weeping and sad, but he actually faked his death. And at the end of the movie, we see him on a throne impersonating Odin.
Yep.
So now that I have run down Loki's story, God of Vix, I'm going to throw it to you. How did you feel about Loki's evolution throughout this movie? Because we saw this is the first movie where we see a bit of good in Loki.
I mean, I thought he was super slick as far as impersonating his father at the end of the movie. You know what I mean? So I was impressed by that because I was not impressed by this movie. So like, you know, when it came to that, I definitely was impressed by that. And then like here, like you just said, you definitely did see some good in him, but then there's still a ton of mischief in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I think I want to say this is probably maybe the second layer to Loki. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you get more of an introduction to this character in this movie. Because God
of Bonnets, I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you think this is the transition of Loki from a villain to more of like an anti-hero, kind of Deadpool level character?
I wouldn't say Deadpool on that kind of level, but you definitely see the anti-hero in it because as I was listening to you guys and you was talking about the relationship between him and Thor, you can tell that you can tell there's this jealousy with his brother, but he cares about his brother. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I feel like there was like this in between where, of course, he want to get at his brother. He's the villain and stuff, but deep down you're like, yeah, that's your bro. You love Thor. Loki loves his bro. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean. Loki was really like this movie is going to be a very quick review because that's like the best thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been 4 minutes. That's really the only thing to talk about this movie. It was Loki's character development in this film is really quite simple. He's in jail after what he did in Avengers, and you start to see throughout this film maybe he's regretting it. He has those very good one-on-ones with his mom, played by the fantastic Renee Russo. Playing is it Hilda? I never can get her name right, but reprising her role there as his adopted mother. And they had that connection in Thor 1, and they continue to develop that in this film before she meets her untimely demise at the hands of the Dark Elves. And that's really what this whole film is, right? It's telling you this story of Loki is getting better as a person, But when he gets that slight little bit of time where he can do his little mischief tricks, he becomes that villain again. And that's where we end this movie. It's back at villain Loki. And you're going to see it again in Thor Ragnarok, which is the movie we're going to talk about next week. But that's kind of what Loki does throughout these 6 movies. And we eventually see it change. But he's always getting better as a person until he gets to his one little moment of opportunity that he finds, and he takes it. He's the ultimate opportunist.
Hey,
he
we heard
catches
that
in
before.
At the correct moment, and he takes over the throne from Odin and sends his ass to New York.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to say it like that. I mean, damn.
I'll bleep that. I'll bleep it. Bleep.
No,
He sends his old butt over to New York to go die.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Damn. Like, New York is terrible. You made it sound like it was hell. Like, Jesus. But, yeah, that's pretty much what he made.
Guardians apparently, like, why else would Loki put him in New York, of all places?
Maybe he wanted a New York. He wanted a New York hot dog. That's what we're all here for.
I mean,
if y'all have any more thoughts on Loki's character development, I got an interesting story that I wonder if y'all have heard.
Oh, it should be interesting. I just wanted to piggyback on what you said about him becoming a good person. I agree to that because you could tell that relationship with his mother. I just wanted to piggyback on that. You could tell that how much that meant to him, and when he heard of her passing, how much that affected him. So I just really wanted to piggyback on that. Was a really good point, that relationship and how he was making that transition. But I'm interested. What story?
So the director of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84, she was supposed to direct this film.
Oh, wow.
And this is a direct statement from her. I did not believe that I could make a good movie out of the script that they were planning on doing. I think it would have been a huge deal. It would have looked like it was my fault. It would have looked like, oh my God, this woman directed it and she missed all these things.
wow.
This movie does get criticized for feeling like a Kevin Feige project. And that's where a lot of the sequels have issues. You have Iron Man 2 has that issue, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, a lot of Marvel sequels besides 1 or 2 here and there, like Captain America, The Winter Soldier, have those little issues where the second one, you can feel that studio interference. And it looks like that's what happened. They gave her this really crap script and she left the film. So, she goes on to direct Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84. Well, Wonder Woman 84 did not get received very highly. Wonder Woman, the original from 2017, did. So, fantastic choice by her, career-wise, to choose that film over this one. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? Do you guys think that it would have been a better movie if Patty directed it? Do you have any issues with her leaving? Do you think she was in the right?
No.
No. So. If she had creative control, possibly, but it looks like her hands were tied.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty much just saying the script that they're giving me.
Like that. It was tied.
Yeah, not the first director. You had Edgar Wright leave Ant-Man in 2015 before he was replaced by it's the guy not John Watts. I forgot his name. Before he was eventually replaced for Ant-Man and Ant-Man 2, and then you also have Scott Derrickson just left Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness in favor of Sam Raimi due to creative differences. So it's not the first time that we've had this happen in the MCU.
No, absolutely. I think, if it's going to be a crap script, it's going to be a crap movie. So I think, like you said, this previous director, I don't remember her name, but she probably saw it, started laughing, and just walked out the door because she said, "There's no way I can save this. If you're like if you don't have that creative control, where you might say, hey, why don't we tinker with this, switch this around, and go with this." And it's no, this is my vision. That movie's going to be crap, and she knew it. So no, she was in the right to get out of there.
100% agree.
You're right, because no one person is bigger than the machine. So at the end of the movie's trash, she's the one who's getting her finger pointed at. So yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of this review of possibly the worst MCU movie, Thor the Dark World. We're not going to give it a rating because it's not good. But let's determine, where is Loki on his track of character progression? I'm going to put him in the category of anti-hero.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I don't want to just agree to agree, but that just sounds about right. You can't really, a villain is someone who just don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But it shows that he cares about, he shows that he has feelings for things. So I think that's the best answer.
Yeah. Got a Vix?
Oh, sorry. I just received the package. Sorry about that. What was the question?
Where do you place Loki right now? We both placed him an anti-hero. Do you agree with that sentiment?
See, here's the thing. I never saw Loki as a bad guy. I just saw him as a jealous brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like in these two movies, like you do see a good side to him.
Yeah.
Therefore, like I think that he's just a guy that's in his feelings. Kind of like Mystique. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much what I think. But like, I guess you could say anti-hero because he's still mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, looks like we decided on anti-hero. Well, that has been Thor the Dark World, our third installment in the evolution of Loki. We got 3 left. Thor Ragnarok next week. The week after, we'll be doing Avengers Infinity War and then Avengers Endgame before Loki begins on June 9th. They moved it up 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Earlier I can get it, the better. I'm very excited for this show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for joining us. I've been the God of Quizzes. He's been the God of Vix. And he's been the God of Bonnets. Where if I can get it right, because I never do.
No, you got it. You got it, kid.
And we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.